The Gutenberg Bible is probably the best known book in the world. It has been called Europe's Editio Princeps, Europe's first edition, because it was the first printed book to be read throughout Europe. It's a good place to start our course on the history of the book, because it introduces us to Johannes Gutenberg, the inventor of movable type, one of the most important innovations for printing books. Gutenberg was in fact a shadowy figure. No contemporary portrait of him exists, and this 1584 portrait is an imagined portrayal. We catch glimpses of him in contemporary records. We know, for example, that he was born in Mainz, Germany, sometime between 1394 and 1406, and that his family was well off. We know also that he moved to Strasbourg sometime in or after 1428, and by 1439 was involved in a mysterious lawsuit there. He was involved in a more serious dispute in 1455. With another business partner in Mainz. He died in 1468. The 1455 dispute was a disagreement between Gutenberg and a fellow Mainz businessman, Johann Fust, who had invested heavily in a mysterious new venture called the work of books. Given the timing, this can only refer to the production of the Gutenberg Bible, known as the Biblia Latina, which was published circa 1454-55. The timing is corroborated by no less a person than a future pope. Ennio Silvio Piccolomini became Pope Pius II in 1458, but in 1454 he was based in Germany. Writing in March 1455 to a colleague in Rome, he mentions that at a meeting at Frankfurt am Main in October 1454, he had seen sections of a printed Bible, and that he'd heard that somewhere between 158 and 180 copies were already completed. Here is a leaf from one of those copies. Look carefully, and you will see that the Latin text is made up of 2 columns of 42 lines of print, which gives us its name, the 42-line Biblia Latina. Based on earlier manuscript copies of the Vulgate edition of the Bible, the 42-line Bible was a massive undertaking, requiring a huge amount of paper and an enormous amount of movable type. Clearly, Gutenberg had experimented with his new invention before producing it. We have evidence of earlier printing attempts. For example, an indulgence for the remission of sins, printed in Mainz in 1454, used types which have been linked to Gutenberg. And we know also that the partnership between Gutenberg as inventor and Fust as financial backer did not start in 1454, but 4 years earlier, in 1450. Piccolomini's testimony draws attention to the fact that Gutenberg and Fust had already sold many of their copies by October 1454. This shows us that there was a ready market for their printed book, and that they had done an excellent job in advertising it. In reality, Gutenberg and Fust were pushing an open door when it came to selling their Biblia Latina. The mid-15th century was a time of innovation in the late medieval book trade. It witnessed not only the creation of the first movable type, but also the arrival of the block book and a rise in the demand for and production of manuscripts. Block books were a combination of image and text carved from a wooden block. They had one drawback. Though each text page could be printed a number of times, it and only it could be printed. In short, it did not offer the same flexibility as movable type. Block books, such as this fragment from Trinity College Dublin's copy of the Ars Moriendi on the art of dying, have been a bone of contention in disputes about the birth of printing. People believed block books came before movable type, but paper analysis has proven that the earliest surviving block books date from the 1450s. This copy, for example, dates from 1466. Block books therefore represent something very intriguing, a mid-15th century explosion innovation in the book trade, where producers of text started experimenting with different ways of replicating works. It was into this world that Gutenberg launched his new invention.